Welcome to Real Estate Focus. I'm Kelvin Law. Our topic is professional home staging. With me here today is Maureen Poole. She is the founder and professional home stager from Astounding Surroundings Staging. Maureen is here today to share her valuable advice on how to go about to stage your home so that your home can add value and also to provide comfortable living as well. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Glad you can join us.
Yeah, glad to be here.
Let's talk about home staging, if you will.
Absolutely.
What exactly is home staging?
So home staging is a wonderful necessity of a type of marketing tool that works really well when you work in a wonderful team atmosphere with the homeowner, also perhaps with the agent,
Right.
If it comes in at that point. And it's all about helping that homeowner prepare that property for sale so that it appeals to the broadest amount of buyers
Right.
and will sell for that higher amount and
Right.
more quickly.
And also, the homeowner can also impress their friends and family as well, right?
Absolutely. A lot of people like to have either a party afterwards, or a lot of times you'll hear, I don't want to move now. I want to stay.
That could be a good thing sometimes.
Absolutely.
Who needs it? I know that homeowners might need home staging. What about renters and stuff like that?
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
point. Home staging can be used absolutely by everybody. There's always some tweaking that needs to be done, even with those high-end, multi-million-dollar homes.
Right.
And then we will, help out also individuals. Perhaps you have your baby boomers that are moving up, and they want to scale down. And so they need to cut back and begin to solidify and simplify their lives. You're right, there is that aspect of renters in multifamily homes. When you get into that multifamily and an investor, it really is a beneficial thing for the occupants that are renting the
Right.
space
Right.
to keep up with showing that house properly, because the next buyers coming in may not be living in the property, they might also be the investor. And if you show them you're a good tenant, they might want to make sure you stay on. So it's a benefit for them.
And wouldn't increase the rent.
Oh, yeah, right. Let's hope.
Yeah, that's good. That's good to know. And also, we talked about this before. First impressions are last impressions.
Yes.
Especially,
Yes.
in the real estate industry, and also, including professional home staging as well.
Absolutely.
Let's, for example, if as a homeowner, why should I invest with professional home stager to stage my home? What are the benefits, if you will?
So there's a lot of different benefits, but a very key one, when the homeowners make that investment in home staging, it typically is less than perhaps a price reduction. And when you start getting into price reductions, you've left money on the table. You walked away from being able to negotiate with that money. So this is a very large business deal for most people when they're getting into selling their properties. So you want to make sure you've got the leverage. You want to be in the driver's seat as the seller, correct?
Right.
So, and you want your assets back. So if you put the money in the beginning and really work on preparing, decluttering, purging, packing,
Right.
Fixing up some of the things that have, you let go for too long, perhaps.
Right.
The benefit is that you're going to get a return.
Right. So with home staging, it would give the sellers or the homeowners more leverage.
Absolutely.
If when they decide to sell their home.
Absolutely.
Now, I know you've done a lot of staging, and if you will, please show the works that you have done before and after, and let's show some graphics, if you will, and if you explain to the viewers.
Absolutely.
Based on the decorations that you have done.
Right. And actually, that's really interesting that you put it that way, based on the decorations I have done. Here's a really key point to what home staging isn't. Home staging is actually not decorating. Because when you get into decorating, that's really when you get into the flip side of the business that many of us also offer, is redesign. Or if somebody went out and hired an
Right.
interior designer, then it's really decorating because you're really working with the personality. So home staging, it is selecting beautiful items that will help to show off the assets of the home, but perhaps maybe diffuse some negativity if there's any out there. And
Right.
sometimes there is, and sometimes
Right.
there isn't.
Just like every other home.
Right.
Yeah.
And so when we make selections, we're trying to balance the look, balance the colors, balance the space, make a sense of the space, give it function, and also give it a good room flow.
Right.
What you're looking in this particular set of pictures is this was an investment property by a company that rehabbed homes and then sold them. So you know, I had to bring in a lot of rental furniture and rental accessories and, you know, establish a lifestyle and a wonderful plan. I know for this particular home, it generated the largest public open house
Right.
that they had ever
Attractions,
experienced.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the attraction was amazing, and it sold. I believe this one sold in 4 days.
Wow, it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that helps. And the next picture, if you will, now I know that is an investment property, and that's the owner-occupied property. Is that correct?
This is actually that same home.
Oh, same home.
This
Okay.
is the same home.
Right.
Once again, an investment property. So you are looking at a brand new kitchen. So you are looking at new features. But in this particular instance, this was a new addition to that older home that was, I believe it was from the 20s. So they needed to blend the floors, they needed to blend the look, and I think they did a really nice job selecting the, you know, wonderful appointments
Furnitures,
that they put in
right.
there. So my job, as you could see, I came and brought life to it and
Right,
made it feel family friendly.
Yeah, and a little bit colorful as well. Yeah,
Yes,
so
add a little
really.
color.
Yeah, and the next one.
That's the same property,
Okay.
and that's a brand new master bedroom that was above that kitchen that you just saw. So this was a new addition to this home, and so you know we needed to give it a little bit of a masterly feel. So you know it was. I did not bring in. I know you can't see the whole room. This staging did not have oodles of bureaus and you know too much furniture. You want to make sure it looks spacious.
Right, and the next one is about the same home as well, or a different
No,
home?
this is a very large mansion down in actually out of this state. It was in Connecticut.
Oh.
This is an occupied home, an occupied staging. So no accessories or furniture were brought in on this project, but we had a very large team of stagers come down and work on it because it was 8,000 square feet.
Wow.
So everything you see, the homeowner owned. It was up to us to make sense of it and,
Right,
and to
right.
give it the established look, the high-end look that
Right.
it definitely deserved and achieved
Good
you know,
for
with
you.
the buyers.
So the next picture shows that. So my question is, what are the how would it be easier if the home is vacant versus the home is occupied by the owner or the tenants?
Right.
Yeah.
You know, there's when a property is vacant, obviously vacant doesn't make it. So it makes a lot more sense to get some staging in there because you need to set a tone for those buyers walking in. You got to start selling them on the emotional piece of buying into living there and envisioning themselves there because that's the beauty of what staging can do. When you're doing occupied staging, you do try very hard to work with what the homeowner has, and of course you've got different clients that have different levels of furniture or pieces of furniture or
Right.
accessories. So sometimes you definitely need to bring in some new updated pieces
Right.
because you just can't keep the swag and jabots hanging up. You
Right.
just can't keep velvet couches around from the Victorian age. You definitely need to make sense of it that it really appeals to the buyers that are out there. So getting to know your demographics of your areas that you're staging in is really important.
Great. And So the next one is this is this a
Same
library
home.
or?
Yeah,
Okay.
this is an in-home office, same home, that very large one, and it was a walk-through type of room, and it was kind of hodgepodge, and there was a lot of children things, children books, and children's
Right.
arts and stuff like that, and it didn't make sense for this grand home. And as you can see, that mantle in the middle was definitely a showcase. It's an
Right.
antique mantle and all that stuff.
Right. Yeah.
So the result is this.
Yeah, good.
Now,
Yeah.
doesn't that say
Looks better.
stunning?
Looks very nice.
And
Very
executive and all that? Because that's who the buyer is going to
Right,
be.
that's,
You know what I
that's
mean?
correct, yeah.
I mean, there is definitely places where you put children's things,
Right.
but so you have to make sense to the various rooms.
Right, that's correct. And the next one shows that a theater, is that correct?
That was down in the basement, same home, and it was they wanted to show off having the possibility of a home theater, and so if you look at the picture on the left, look at the couch in the back. It's actually on kind of boards and cups because they wanted to have staging, but they didn't have a formal stage. So a mock staging was made, and then it was covered down below on the right. You can sort
Right.
of see how it was covered.
So-
So sometimes as a stager, you have to get creative.
Right.
How you're going to accomplish the look.
Right. And fit into the same space as well.
Fit into the same
Right.
space. Makes
Now,
sense.
the furnitures that you use over there, are those the same furniture as the first one, or?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, and you just draw them from different pieces of the house. Same thing with artwork or
Right.
plants or whatever.
Right.
And like I said, not everybody had. This particular homeowner had beautiful items.
Right.
And so other properties, sometimes you definitely need to bring in
Right.
some new updated accessories.
Just
to
some
give it the
ideas
look.
and some help with the decoration and staging.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, good. And the next one, and that is the
bedroom.
master suite.
The master suite.
Right.
It was just lacking. It was dull,
Ah.
basically.
Yeah.
It was just lackluster. So you needed to give it more of a feel. I mean, you can
Right.
just look at the top left picture. You can see how the curtain valances were missing. The one on the
Right,
right was missing.
right.
So you got to put things back together.
Right. Yeah.
Time to
Looks great, yeah.
Yeah.
With the bright lights and the clattering as well and the decoration, yeah. So it fit in all well. So the next one is about laundry room.
Yeah, this one belongs to a completely different property.
Right.
This actually was a 2-bedroom mobile home. So remember when you said who
Right.
needs staging?
Yeah.
It can go from mobile home to
Right.
mansions.
That's right. To a boat. Right? To a boat as well.
To a boat as well, exactly. Small yachts.
Yeah.
This is all about making sense of the area.
Right.
And we did. I
Yeah.
did have a yacht that I worked on. And sometimes boats can be hard to sell.
Right.
And
Yeah.
this one definitely was on the market for a while. And then I came in and I just really just made the atmosphere a lot more pleasant
Right.
and upbeat and gave it a little bit of a party feel or, getting ready for a party. Spit shine clean. Everything needs to be Q-tip clean.
Right.
Whether it's a boat, a house, a condo, you name it.
Right.
It needs to be Q-tip clean.
Right.
This is what buyers will love and they'll be looking for
Right.
because they want to know that the seller is taking good condition, taking care of everything and not letting every little bump.
Right. Especially those
Expand.
antique stuff.
Oh, yes, that
have
too.
been hanging around for a while.
Yeah.
And basically most of the time that I told the sellers because they need strong advice on how to decorate their homes or how to stage your home properly before listing the property.
Right.
So therefore they are hungry with information and advice.
Great.
From yourself or from myself or something like
Great.
that. So
Great.
they are very thankful that we give them the right advice on how to decorate their home or something like that. So yeah, I mean, and in terms of homeowners, if most homeowners want to do the works themselves, how would you, in a professional manner, assist them to decorate their home or stage their home?
Okay, so that's easy. They can call up a professional home stager and they'll come in and do a paid consultation. They'll probably do a walk and talk situation, and the homeowner or the realtor or whoever it is will take lots and lots of notes, feverishly lots and lots of notes, and we'll really go through, and we'll be that critical eye, not to be cruel or mean to anybody. It isn't about that.
That's important.
If they're calling us in, because we do respect their places and we do respect their belongings, but if they're calling us in, they're really looking for help so we can help them really show off their house. Because when they put their home on the market, it's now a product.
Right.
They got to think of it like a product. So now it's a house, not really their home.
That makes sense.
And and I know it's tough for them to get to the point where they can emotionally detach themselves in that manner. But the sooner they can begin to let it go and know that they're working on a business deal, then they can really move through that process.
Right.
And they can they can understand the point. So we can do consultations. And that is really great for a DIY type of person. And if they can't get it all done, then they can ask for a proposal. We'll come back. We'll tell them, how much it might cost to invest in our different companies that are out there, and then let the ball start rolling.
So in this case, I mean, how would they find a professional home stager?
Okay, so that's a great question. There are 2 national associations, organizations filled with thousands and thousands of professional home stagers, not just here from America, but from all around the world in Canada. And these professional associations have annual conventions that I do attend personally. So one would be your International Association of Home Staging Professionals. That goes by the initials IAHSP.com. That'll pull up their website, and then you'd look for your regional chapter, for your state, and then you'd click on a members directory. The other site is the Real Estate Staging Association, and you would do the same thing. You'd Google that and look for that member directory for the different state that you're from.
Great. And so when you said international, is that recognized globally, or just
Yes,
like
it is.
U.S. and Canada?
Oh, yes.
Oh, it's worldwide, basically.
Oh,
right?
it is worldwide.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Absolutely. When I went out west and got my accreditation as a master stager, there were people from Belgium, from South America there.
Right.
So,
It's good.
they're all over.
Good to
Tokyo.
know. Yeah. Good to know. Yeah. So,
Absolutely good to know.
Now, can anyone call themselves a professional home stager?
I think there are people out there who do it as a hobby because they like to decorate.
Right.
Okay, and as I said to you, home staging really isn't decorating. We really have strategies because we're trying to get that buyer's eye to go directly to a particular part of the house, so they start noticing the assets, whether it's the moldings, the height of the ceiling, the floor conditions, cabinets, whatever it is. So stagers are trained, and we have a lot of things that we can bring to the table. Somebody who does it as a hobby, you're not going to get the full investment with all that a professional can bring to the table. Just like if you were to go in for a surgery, you're really going to go to a doctor, not the person down the street.
Right. Better not, right?
Better not. So you want to make sure you're working with the right person.
Right. And so, to become a home stager, I mean, do you need a lot of education? And I know that being a professional, you have a plan, you have a system, and also you have the processes, to help people to stage their home. So basically, I mean, I know that what are the basic education that a home stager should have?
Right. Yeah. So there's different programs out there. Some of them are offered like through the internet, and they might have a week-long course or a 3-day webinar type of course. I personally went to one that you actually attended the courses, and it was a 3-day full intensive where I became an accredited staging professional, an ASP. And after I got my company started and working with my clients, I realized I wanted a little bit more of the business end. So that's when I personally went to the West Coast and there's a master course out there. So I took a very intensive 7-day master course. But they, you know, all these different programs have, you know, really work on the educational, the ethics, some business sense of how to make sure that this is a great team experience with the real estate agents, the homeowners, all that.
Good. So sounds like you know, I mean, you need education if you want to be a professional home stager.
You really should have it.
Yeah, right. I agree. So if you want to be professional, you got to have you know, knowledge and also experience along with education, of course.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, and that would enhance, you know, your professionalism and also your work as well. So
and like I said, the resources that we can bring to the table. I mean, we have a lot of national vendors in different products that a homeowner may need, or probably should need, such as boxes or pods or appliances and stuff like that. There's different vendors out there that have special programs for stagers that we can get the products at a reduced rate. And not to, and the other thing to know is that if we need to bring in rental furniture, there's several rental companies out there that have special program for stagers, and it'll be at a better price and better than if you walked in the door or a homeowner walked in the door. The stager's going to get a better price to be able to bring to the table.
Good, yeah. So good advice. And what are the top 3 areas of concern that would help the homeowners if they, you know, work on the suggestion that that you brought them or something like that for the bang of the buck?
Biggest bang for the buck for the homeowner, absolutely fresh paint. On your
Fresh paint,
interior, and do your exterior too. If you're got chips and you know, deal with it. You got to deal with it. Fresh paint is definitely big bang for the buck. Cleanliness, the Q-tip clean. Get it professionally cleaned. Get your carpets done, get your floors done, rebuff them up, get that house, no cobwebs, no cracks, windows, cleaning your windows, you know, that's all that Q-tip clean. So you want to do that. You want to declutter. Because everybody has to remember this. One big thing, please take this away. Clutter eats equity. Okay? And you definitely don't want to lose your equity. So.
And also, I've seen a lot of homes that, well, based on what you just mentioned, they have done everything except one thing: move out the trash.
Why?
That's the only thing that they forgot about it. You know? So that's why.
Now they won't forget because you said it, Calvin.
That's right. Yeah.
You heard it here.
So that's why, you know, if you want to be a, you know, a perfect staging home, if you will, you know, you got to move the trash.
Absolutely, you got to move the
trash. So before they putting the home on the market, I mean, when is the best time for them to do home staging? Is it like a week before they put the home on the market, or 2 weeks or 3 weeks? I mean, what is a good
you know,
time frame?
every project is going to be different because you know, somebody who's a minimalist isn't going to have as much that has to get done versus the person who might have 30 years of clutter. As a matter of fact, one of my very first premier stagings, that home had about 28 years of clutter that they never dealt with, and they didn't keep up with any of the home improvements. That house had been on the market for over 2 years and went from the mid to high 8s down to the mid to high 6s. They lost
It's like a roller coaster, isn't it?
Pardon me?
It's a little roller coaster.
Oh,
on the
yeah,
price.
totally.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, they lost it because of the market, because they, you know, the market had changed, but they also lost it because, you know, they didn't, you know, they had to keep taking price reductions. But you know what? They couldn't even keep up with that and give the house away, basically, you know? So when I went in and did this with them, it took 504 hours to completely get that house.
You said 504 hours?
504 hours. I mean, I clocked it.
Right.
It took 2 solid months, and we decluttered. We brought in many different hands of professionals to fix all the things that needed fixing. And then it went on the market and sold in 22 days.
Wow, fantastic. So,
So-
yeah, that's impression right there, right? Yeah.
So that just has to say, how
Right.
long does it take?
Right.
And I will say the homeowner that contacts the professional homeowner first, before they even bring in the agents to get some market analysis, will impress those agents when they finally come in and they see the house is all ready,
Right,
all
right.
staged, that they're most likely going to end up with a staged list price, which could be higher.
That's right.
Then
No
what-
question about it. Yeah.
then
There's
what
no
it
brainer,
might have
right?
been, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, in terms of clutterness, as you mentioned before,
Yeah.
especially homeowners who live in a house for decades,
Right.
and they must accumulate a lot of antiques, if you will,
Oh, that
or
too.
junks,
Yeah.
to put it in a greasy way.
Right.
Where should they put the stuff during the home staging? I mean,
Right.
do they move to storage, or do they put them in the basement, or where should they put the stuff?
I would recommend getting it off-site before loading up your basement. If you're keeping it, if it's something you're keeping, then I would definitely move it to a pod type of situation, or a lot of the moving companies have wonderful storage units themselves as well. Or start dealing with it if you need to deal with an estate auctioneer type of person.
Right.
It would be better than cluttering up your garage and your basement, because you want the buyers to see all the space that they can see, because space sells. Right?
It is, yeah,
Space
and they
sells.
are actually. So
Right.
it is to have functional spaces.
Right.
And because I came from architectural background, so
Oh.
functional spaces are very important.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why the spaces will provide comfortable living,
Sure.
and also provide a lot of sunlight,
Yes.
and also make you feel at home basically. So
Oh, absolutely.
that's important. And is it important to include the home stager part of the team when selling a home?
We believe so.
Yeah.
We definitely believe so. I
Yeah.
mean, I really think it's a win-win-win for absolutely everybody, because then when the homeowner, when the stager gets in there and they help out the homeowner in all the ways we've already discussed, how it helps out the realtor is that we help make them look like rock
Right.
stars and feel like rock stars, because
Right.
now they have these dynamic listings
Yeah.
that look fabulous online, because that's where the buyers begin.
Right.
They begin looking online and they click, 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 click away very, very quickly. If you don't catch their eye to linger on that picture,
Right.
they're clicking past you and moving to the next person.
Right.
So you want those listings to stand out above the competition.
Yeah.
And
right.
and we try to work it with each other with marketing, with social media, spreading the word about the listing. And myself, I help out with broker open houses.
Good.
And
Yeah.
just pitch in. If I'm
Right.
available, I'm there for you.
Good, fantastic. Well, good to know.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for sharing.
Oh, you're
And
welcome.
I'm sure that your advice and your insightful information will be very helpful to the homeowners. So,
Wonderful.
having said that, in home staging, first impressions are last impressions. Home staging provide a few benefits, including uncluttered spaces, functional spaces, comfortable living, and also home staging will improve the value of your home. And also, when you have a nice home and nice spaces, organization of furnitures, it's inviting to your friends and family. So I think that home staging is very important. Either you plan to sell your home, or you plan to live your home in the long run. I want to thank you for watching. See you next time. Pleasure.